Hey, this is Bobby Cappuccio. I'm thinking that one of the most important questions we can ask ourselves are who are the people in the past that we've extracted lessons from that can do the most to contribute to who we are in the future. There's a premise in modeling that goes, if you can identify people who are doing exactly what it is you want to do in your career, and you do the same or similar things to what they're doing now, you'll produce very similar results to the results that they've been able to manifest. Now, the only difference to that is anyone who does anything at an extraordinary level has gotten to that level because they've invested many years, and in some cases, multiple decades, learning and going through the experiences of failure, trial, and error in order to become the type of person that's capable of performing at that level. And if you can model somebody, you don't have to endure the same level of failure, the same level of trial and error that that individual had to go through. You know, when I think about 5 people in my life that have taught me invaluable lessons that I'd like to share with you, the first one that comes to mind has to be Mitchell Pacifico. Mitchell Pacifico was my boss when I started working at my very first training job, my very first real training job at Gold's Gym. He taught me that no matter how deep your level of technical competence, you need to immerse yourself in an attitude of servitude, because according to UCLA, 68% of anyone who stops utilizing your services does so because of perception of indifference or a negative experience with an employee. So if you don't have the level of hospitality, whether it's in your studio, your health club, or you're even an independent trainer, what that does is it doesn't create the level of certainty and security. If you look at Maslow's hierarchy of human needs, that is the preeminent basic human need before any other need can be met. If you don't create that level of safety, you're probably going to sacrifice exercise adherence. What else he taught me is that when I first started my career, I didn't have very many prospects, but he saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. So he taught me the implicit lesson that we can take to all of our clients, and that is, my belief is greater than your doubt. And that's a powerful, powerful message, because fitness is not a destination, it's a journey. And as in any journey, a lot of times people have aspirations of going the distance, but they don't have the confidence, they don't have the reference point to prove to them that they can do it, so they don't believe it. In those cases, our job is to help them go just as far as they can see, because like in any journey, when they get there, they'll see farther. The second person who was an extraordinary influence in my life was David Barton. David Barton owns David Barton Gyms, which was founded right here in New York City. And the very first day I went to work for David Barton back in 1998, I asked him a question. I said, David, if there are 2 things that I can do exceedingly well on a daily basis, which 2 things would not only contribute to your organization, but would contribute the most to my success within your company as well? He said, number 1, be a connoisseur of talent. Know how to recognize, select, and recruit the very best talent. Number 2, train them daily. Be a connoisseur of talent and a developer of talent. If you can do those 2 things exceedingly well, it'll help you in my company. It not only helped me in his company, it helped me to an extraordinary degree in any organization I've worked for or with ever since. The second thing that David taught me is the power of brand identity. David creates one of the coolest environments on the planet. If you go to davidbartongym.com, you'll see gyms that are not only unique, but extraordinarily beautiful. And he taught me a little bit later, I think back in 2002, we had a conversation. He said, Bobby, it's never your facility. It's always your operation. It's never your facility. It's always your operation. And what he meant is that you don't want people to simply join your brand. You want them to embody everything your brand represents, because he knows that if people have to sacrifice daily for the promise of who they're going to become ultimately, they're not going to make it. The second you walk into David Barton Gym, you are cooler by association. So he starts going to work on your level of gratification. He starts enhancing your life with pleasure, helping you become more of the person you want to be, simply by immersing you in the environment where you feel cool just because you're there. And that's aligned with another person who has greatly influenced me, which is Ian O'Dwyer. Ian O'Dwyer taught me two things. One, somebody comes to see me, they're going to change immediately, very first session. Number two, they're going to have a sense of play. Fitness for them is not going to be something that they wake up in the morning and say, wow, I have to go to the gym. They're going to wake up in the morning and go, I can't believe I get to go to the gym. Because I'm not going to just create the most effective programs, I'm going to create the most fun programs I'm capable of creating. And anybody who knows Ian O'Dwyer knows he is infectious, uniquely infectious. And the fourth person who's really impacted me has been Richard Boyd. Richard Boyd taught me that great goals are achieved when great visions unite. He taught me that not one of us is as capable or as brilliant as every one of us. He's a master of building a vision and then finding people to collaborate and employing various talents, aspirations, skill sets, and experiences towards a common goal. And the fifth person would be John Harding. I remember I was teaching on a road show with John Harding, and we weren't sleeping more than a few hours a night. So I was more than a little bit annoyed when I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning to the sound of John Harding watching comedy clips on YouTube. And I said to him, mate, what are you doing? He said, well, I'm working. What does it look like I'm doing? I said, it looks like you're goofing off at 4 o'clock in the morning to me. He said, no, you misunderstand. He said, we've got a big day today. We're going to present it. If we show up tired and we show up anxious, we're just going to feed that to the students. I'm watching comedy, so I get into the playful, emotional state that I need to be the very best person I'm capable of being. And that was really powerful because John Harding reinforced the principle of having a ritual, taking the time to prepare, and not only knowing your stuff cold, but conditioning your state so that you can perform at the level you need to perform in the manner that you need to perform, given the person who's in front of you and what they need most at that moment. So these are 5 people in my life that have taught me invaluable lessons. I hope some of these lessons will be equally as valuable for you.